welcome back to the Lizzie Life YouTube channel. I am Elizabeth Thompson. I'm glad to see you again. Today we are talking about establishing honesty with our children. When my husband Kevin and I decided to have kids and started having kids, we together decided that the number one rule in our family would be always tell the truth. Because the bottom line is, if you don't have honesty and trust in your relationships, you got nothing. You cannot be close if you doubt someone's word. And like it or not, every kid experiments with lying at some point. Usually around the age of 3 and 4, they start kind of toying with it. And it's up to us to put a stop to that and to show them the importance of honesty, the misery that results in their life when they tell a lie. You can establish honesty at a very early age. With all of our kids, we've really nipped lying in the bud at around the age of 3 or 4. I absolutely believe this is possible. If you've never seen it done before, it can be done. Absolutely, with the help of God and His Word and a lot of prayer. I want to start by telling you the story of my son Blake's first lie, and then I'm going to back up a little bit and give some practical pointers. But I think the way that it came about and the way that we handled it will give you a picture of what you're trying to accomplish. So we had spent several months making sure that he really understood the difference between truth and a lie. Because all kids, they have a phase where the line between truth and reality and pretend and real is very fuzzy. One minute they're telling you they ate popcorn for a snack, the next minute they're telling you there are flying unicorns who live in their bedroom. So you have to spend a few months making sure they understand, oh, now we're talking make-believe. Great! Now we're talking about what you actually ate for your snack. So you want to establish that. We had spent that time establishing truth versus lie with Blake. So at this point, we were very confident he knew what the truth was, what pretend was, what make-believe was. And I had been praying for an opportunity because I kind of knew his day was coming. So it's right before church. My husband's a minister. It's a Sunday morning. He's already gone off to church. I am wrangling a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 5-year-old by myself, trying to get all of their clothes on, shoes on 3 pairs of feet, and, enough snacks to survive the long winter, all loaded into the car on time before church. Not a great time to have a good, wonderful parenting moment. However, this was our time. So Blake comes walking into the kitchen while I'm packing snacks, and he goes, "Mommy, I want to take my Transformer toy with me to church." I say, "Son, you can't take your Transformer to church. I'm sorry. Your teachers will not let you play with it during church. It will just be a problem. It will get broken and lost. You need to leave it at home." He makes this really sad face, walks out of the room, and immediately my mommy spidey senses start tingling. You kind of know when your kid's up to something. And I even remember saying, "Blake, are you doing something sneaky in there?" "No, Mommy." Yeah, right. So a few minutes later, he comes walking back into the room, just grinning ear to ear, just the most angelic smile you have ever seen on a child's face. His little bright blue eyes just looking like something out of one of those little cherub angels floating around on Valentine's Day, just beaming at me. And he says, "Mommy, I've decided not to take my Transformer to church." Well, meanwhile, I look down at his little jeans, and there is an enormous bulge in his pocket shaped like a transformer. And my heart just sank, because here is this child lying so brazenly and so happily, my precious boy, lying to my face. And I just thought, okay, it's on. Here we go. I've been looking for my moment, and here it is. So I just gathered up, all of my maternal strength, and I said, "Blake Thompson, you are lying to me. I see that transformer sticking in your pocket right now. You are telling me a lie, and that is terrible." And he, of course, immediately, the little happy eyes fill with tears, and they spill over very loudly, dramatically. I send him to his room. I called my husband, we're going to be late to church. I'm sorry, we got to deal with this. I dealt with it a little bit before church, but after church, Kevin and I sat Blake down together and we really talked intensely about how serious this was, that he had told us a lie, that when you tell a lie, you hurt your relationship with your mommy and daddy or whoever you're lying to because we can't trust you. We talked about how God takes lying very seriously. God always wants us to tell the truth, even if we'll get in trouble. We had a very serious conversation. We brought God into it. We used a couple of simple scriptures, and Blake got in big trouble that day. He got a big punishment that day. But then there was an ongoing punishment to really reinforce the lesson for a few days. We took away all of his Transformers for like 2 days, which to a 4-year-old might as well be 2 years. And he couldn't even touch them, couldn't even look at them for 2 days. And every time he thought about it or asked about it, we said, now why do you not have your Transformers? Because I told a lie. But you know what? It worked. He has been a very honest child since then. Have we followed up since then? Yes. Have there been a few times when we've had to reinforce the lesson? Absolutely. But I tell that story because I think it gives you a picture of how you can lay the groundwork for a few months when a child is 3, maybe 3.5, making sure they really understand the difference between truth and a lie. You spend some time really praying, saying, God, please give me a great, clear opportunity when it is so obvious that this child is telling me a lie. Give me the courage and the strength to deal with it in the moment. And then you really go out of your way to make a memorable parenting moment for your child, something they will not forget, where they understand this is different. This is way different from me just, not sharing a toy or being selfish or whatever. This is a big deal, capital B, capital D. And you have whatever your family's most serious punishment is, they get that punishment that day. But you also put in place some kind of a longer term, and by long term at that age we're talking 2-3 days, but a longer term consequence that reinforces the lesson. That sticks with a kid. It gives them such an unpleasant memory of what lying is and impresses upon them the importance of the truth. They will remember that. I still remember my first lie because that's how my parents dealt with it. I was 3.5 years old, and you know what? I really didn't struggle with lying again because they dealt with it so seriously. They gave me something I remembered. I think when you're dealing with lying in young children, you want to use some key words that they can wrap their brains around, especially words like sneaky, because sometimes a kid isn't telling you a lie, but they're just doing something behind your back that they don't want you to know about. Just the other day, I caught my 3-year-old digging around the pantry sneaking candy, and I said, excuse me, what are you doing? She turns around and goes, and I said, are you being sneaky with mommy? She's not old enough yet for the lying talk, but we're laying the groundwork by using those keywords about sneaky. And you ask mommy, you tell the truth, you obey, you don't do it when mommy's not looking. We're laying that groundwork now. So you lay the groundwork, you have this big moment, their big lie moment that hopefully makes a strong impression, and then you want to keep following up. With our daughter Avery, we had to follow up a little bit more. We had a big lying confrontation with her, but then for several months we still got a slippery feeling. So you know what? We had another big lying confrontation. When we caught her in another lie, we did the whole thing again. But that time we really talked, because she was older, I think she was 4.5 at that point, we really sat and talked about, Avery, this is hurting your relationship with mommy and daddy because we don't trust you. We don't ever know if you're telling the truth. We always wonder, is Avery lying? Is Avery telling the truth? And we want to be close to you because we love you. And we really appealed to her. And because she's such a relational person, it got through. She changed from that talk, that second big confrontation. She really has become an honest child. Now she tells me more than I ever want to know. She'll come to me confessing all of these things, and I'm always very gracious. I say, thank you so much for telling me. I'm so glad you told me the truth. Let's not do that again, but I'm glad you told me the truth. I think the flip side of this is you want to reward honesty, that whenever your kid comes to you and they tell you the truth when they could have hidden something from you, you always want to praise that and help them understand that took so much courage. You were very brave, and I'm so glad you told me the truth. And we can be close now because you did that. I trust you, and I trust that you won't do that again. I'll post on my website some great follow-up scriptures that you can use in teaching your children. Some of my favorites are Psalm 32. It's a psalm that talks about someone who's really been hiding sin. And it says, "For day and night your hand was heavy upon me." You know, when you're lying, God's hand is heavy upon you, and you feel that sense of guilt and shame. Kids feel that way when they're lying. And it says, "Then I acknowledged my sin to you and did not cover up my iniquity. I said, I will confess my transgressions to the Lord." And it talks about the relief he felt when he told the truth. That's Psalm 32. If you're dealing with an older child who really has a recurrent deceit problem, Acts 5, the story of Ananias and Sapphira, it's an intense story, but it does get a strong message across about the importance of honesty. And there are so many Proverbs, great scriptures. I'll post some of those on my website if you'd like to come visit. Check out some scriptures you can use with your family. So what do you do if you've got an older kid and you feel like, hey, I missed that window at 3, 4, and 5 when I could have really made a strong impression about telling the truth? It's not too late. I think you have a family devotional where you talk about honesty and you say, we've got a problem in our family with honesty, and it's going to stop now. And you read a lot of scriptures, you talk about why it's important, you appeal to your children, you try to win their hearts over, and then you start from there. And you say, now moving forward, I'm going to trust that you're going to tell the truth, but if you don't, there will be some very serious consequences. And you know what? Then you give them that memory of how unpleasant it is the first time that you tell a lie. You just sort of reset the family atmosphere. You reset the family rules, reestablish the expectations. Hang in there. It's hard, but it is the most worth it thing that you can do as a parent. I am so thankful that I trust my kids. I don't take that lightly. It's such a gift. It makes our family a fun and happy and safe place. We're such a mess, and we all make many mistakes, but at least we're honest about it with each other when we do, and we apologize quickly. We still have our little one to teach this lesson to, so I'm right in there with you in the struggle of teaching kids honesty. I hope this helps. I hope it gives you some tools and some ideas and some scriptures you can work with moving forward. Please come back, visit LizzieLife.com for more ideas. Subscribe to this channel and you'll be notified whenever I post a new video about family life and raising families that really love God. So until next time, have a great day, and I'll see you on Lizzie Life.